You're watching Morning at NTV.
Good morning, welcome. This is Morning at NTV. We're revamped, we're fresh, we're new, and just for you. I'm Flavia Tumusime. Good morning, I'm not alone.
I'm Malaki Vilodera. Welcome to the show.
Yes, and this is a Tuesday, although it feels like a Wednesday for me. I'm not quite sure why I thought we're midweek. But it is not just the two of us. Of course, on the ground is Andrew Chamaguru, who goes to the streets, to your homes, to everywhere that you are to try and get what is on your mind. Real people, real issues. And he's always on the ground for that. And this morning, of course, we have to check in with him and find out where he is, or what we'll be talking about, just to get what's on his mind this morning. It's not raining this morning.
It's not raining.
So he survived the weather. But that'll be Andrew Chamaguru on the ground. But just to let you know, if you're joining us this morning, wherever you are, you're probably watching and streaming us live. The hashtag is Morning at NTV. There's so many gems to catch from this show in the morning. And just if you are watching for the first time, you're thinking, revamped, fresh, new? Well, we tell you everything that's on our minds. We take you through the stories of the day that you might want to, you know, take note of, and we chat about things that are actually affecting you, notes that you can take and say, I am improved now. So first, let's get to Chamaguru. Andrew Chamaguru, do we have you? Where are you?
Oh yeah, good morning, ladies. I'm coming to you live from, of course, Salama Road. Next is Chivye. Now, Chivye is just in the middle of two roads. There is a road just behind me that goes to Machinje, and then the one that is down that goes to Salama Road, up to Munyenyo, and then you can connect back to Kampala. It's a busy hub right here, the biggest business in the morning. You can see we have edibles. There is a lot of chapati here. Mala, you'd actually enjoy this. You have a lot of mandazi, samosas. I see a lot of pancakes. But then, it's another kind of traffic area for Abantu Bawans who are going to the market. They pass from here, then they can actually cross through here, then Ndeba, then others continue straight to Kampala. So it's a fun day. I'm just excited to be here. Mubantu Bange, Abawansi. It's exciting to get the opinions about today's topic.
Fantastic. That is Andrew Chamaguru on the Salama Road, he says. So we'll be getting back to him, of course, for On the Ground to find out what we'll be talking about and see who we'll be chatting to. If you are around that street and you won't be late for work, you might want to drop by and chat to him. Yeah. Thank you, Andrew. We'll come back to you later. All right, so before we get into it with Malad, we're online, hashtag Morning at NTV, and I'd like to just shout out to the person who has tweeted us first, and that is Majid Kamanzi. Are you saying you're up? So thank you for being up with us and watching. We'll start with Malad, of course, with what's on your mind.
What's on my mind today morning? Okay, when I was coming to work at around 4 a.m. this morning, I saw ladies walking to work, and most of them were actually alone. And it got me thinking, is it ever that serious? Fine, you're going to fend for your family, you're going to, you know, get a coin or two from your hustle, but why not then rally your neighbors who also wake up at that early morning and walk with them to work? Because there's insecurity. At 4 a.m. at that dark hour, you're a girl, you're a woman, you're a female. Is it safe enough for you to walk on the dark streets in the morning? Dark in the morning, 4 a.m. Yeah? Even if you don't have neighbors who go to work that early, your work, you know, your workmates, just agree on a stage where you can all be, you know, meeting up, and then you walk to work together. Even if it means, I don't know, getting a border from that point to that stage where you agreed on, just don't walk in that night, dark hour alone.
It's not safe.
It's not
and
safe.
As you said, you're probably fending for your family, and you're thinking, let me get up, let me go fix, you know, the kids and everything. And we used to be told that in African society, the man should be taking care of the family. So if your man, you left him snoozing and you're walking alone at 4 a.m., question your life. But yesterday I got to host for Uganda Bati Limited. They were opening a new customer service center, and they're trying to do what a lot of companies are now doing. It's a one-stop hub. You put everything from customer care to sales and marketing, so that when I come to you, I don't have to go to this branch for sales, then I go to this branch for customer care, then I go to this branch for my queries. So they put a one-stop center, and I thought that was brilliant.
That's amazing.
While I was there, because I MC a lot, and one of my pet peeves, the thing that really irks me every time I MC is when you have like 30 bosses. you know that thing when people communicate to you and everyone is a boss because you don't.
Everyone is giving you directions.
Yeah, so you don't work in the company, so you don't know who's who. You don't want to say no to someone who's probably like assistant something.
Yeah.
So I was told from the get-go that you'll be taking orders from 3 people, marketing, this one and this one. And at some point, someone high in hierarchy came and gave me the wrong orders. And I wasn't sure whether to insult them by saying no or what. So, so just communication is important, but I hate it when everyone is a boss, and it's something to do with our workplaces, where everyone has some sort of role, some sort of opinion. And I want to say something terrible, but when I just started here at NTV like 2-3 years ago, I was new, and my first week here, people were being warm, showing me this is where you pass to do this, this is who you go to for this is who you call. And one colleague of ours is not a colleague anymore, so but I'm still not going to say your name, walked straight to me and he didn't even greet me. Started saying, you know, when you're on TV, this is how you should sit, this is how you should talk, this is how you should stand, this is what you should say, and this is how you should end your... I was like, okay, all right. And then, yeah, don't do those things on TV. And he was really going in. And halfway I went to the, you know, our top boss, and I said, but this guy was giving me advice, and my boss said, no, that's not, don't, you listen to many people, that's not one of them. And so we tend to do that in the workplaces, everyone gives orders, everyone has an opinion of something. So it was just something to note that I got from yesterday.
Yeah, and I think moving forward, it comes with time though, just learning to pick up the positives and even the negatives, but criticism that is constructive.
Yes.
So learning how to block the, you know, unconstructive criticism and picking up the positives. Because at some time, you know, there are people who criticize you and they're actually right.
Yes.
So it's just to learn who actually has my best interest at their hearts.
Yeah, I'll help you understand. If you're on TV, if Mala is on TV and you're telling her, you know, maybe the way you phrased these comments wasn't right. See, I think she can understand that versus, I don't know, the way your lips are. What kind of criticism is that? You're telling me something I'm not going to change on myself. You're getting personal. So that's how you know you've crossed over from criticism to hate. So checking in at 7 minutes past 7, we'd like to go into the highlights, the news highlights, things you should know as you get into your day this morning. Mala?
For me, the government has actually come up with a policy. It's still in working, you know, but it's a policy on trying to get back child mothers to school. So after you give birth, you're an adolescent girl, you at some point got pregnant. Many a times when girls get pregnant, they don't go back to school. So the Ministry of Education is actually saying, you know what, we need to have a policy protecting the young girls who are mothers, such that by the time they give birth, they can as well go back to school once they're ready to, and get an education for themselves. So I think it's a very important conversation, because you can imagine if then all the girls are big majority, especially in the rural setting, then don't go back to school, because there's also an issue of child labor and all these things. So we need a policy protecting the child mother. But also there's this thing about equipping the child with, the girl child, with information and them knowing about the sexuality. You know what? You can say no to sex. And you know what? You can protect yourself from being raped at some point, to some extent. Like I said, in the morning I saw ladies walking alone to work in that dark hour, 4 a.m. What measures can you take to protect yourself as well as a lady? Fine, we can never justify rape. It's a sensitive issue. But there's something you can do as a girl to protect yourself. And also when it comes to you not accepting sexual advances.
You must know also.
You must
But let me ask you, I get that the government is trying to say, you know what, many young adolescents who get pregnant, maybe they're in high school or whatever class, don't end up coming back to school. So what is happening to those numbers? Let's make a policy to bring them back. But is it really the government? Is that the reason these young mothers are not going back to school? When I was in high school, you could see you're in S1, you're trickling down S2, S3, sometime at S4 someone gets pregnant, you don't see them back in S5. And it has nothing to do with government not giving them policies that help them. It has nothing to do with the school saying don't return to school after you've had your child. It's more about the stigma. someone in class is going to look at you a certain way because now you're a mother at 16, 17. It has everything to do with home. Your mother and father saying, you want us to waste school fees after you decided to go be a parent. So I think the grassroots information is coming from the home. Start from the home, you know, advise the girl. As much as she's made a mistake at 16 and gotten pregnant, you know, maybe she can then go back to school, because the government is not restricting them to go back to school. It's us.
So helping her to
the
come
community.
out of that shell
of
stigmatization.
It's us. It's us who are doing that. Speaking of mothers and all that, Mulago Hospital. I don't know if, as a Ugandan, as a foreigner, you've had a chance. Have you been to Mulago Hospital?
Yes.
Not with the refurbishments now, even before.
Yes.
Mulago Hospital now, they're thinking of splitting it into 5 hospitals. Ideally, 3 main hospitals. They will be having Mulago National Referral Hospital as one section. They'll have the specialist maternal on one end, and also just a specialized hospital on one end. And then they'll have, of course, the other referral hospitals given complexes in the same building. So that wherever you're referred to, there's specific specialists to help you. Mulago has some of the best doctors. I'll give them that. I was very excited when I saw a special ward for mothers, you know, or pregnant people, because I think we've said this off air. I had a discussion with Mala and told her, I'm traumatized because years ago I went into Mulago Hospital and I was taking a young woman who was pregnant, who was ready to give birth. And at the time I was like 17. So I wasn't aware that a 9 months pregnant woman should not be bleeding, first of all. So it was an emergency, and I took her to Mulago 3B. 3B. And there were women on the floor, pregnant. Others had just given birth. You could tell it was fresh. It was maybe hours ago. And I go to the nurses and I say, I have a pregnant woman who is bleeding. What do I do? And she looks at me and she says, everyone here needs a doctor. so I don't know if it's frustration. I don't know if they were just unhappy they're not paid enough. I don't know if they've seen so many traumatizing situations that for them that a bleeding 9 months pregnant woman is nothing. So I'm hoping that as you're refurbishing Mulago Ministry, as you are giving us all these specialized doctors and specialized complexes, you are motivating our nurses, our doctors, our midwives, our caretakers, because they're the people we see. We're not seeing the ministry. We're not seeing you, Dr. Twini. We're not seeing you, the ministry. We're seeing these people. So if you can motivate them that when you open Mulago next month, you know, we have a team of people who are happy to see us patients.
Do you think the major factor of motivation is actually on the salary they get? Of
course, it's money. That's why they're lobbying for better salaries, and not just salaries for certain people in a certain hierarchy. Let it trickle down to everyone.
And if it doesn't happen in the long run, then the split into 5 segments will still be with the same service delivery?
Exactly. So you're refurbishing Mulago, but the service delivery is still going to be the same. So me, I'm more concerned about the delivery of, you know, services. If I have a great nurse, I wouldn't be too worried about whether the Panado is there or not. But that's just me.
Wow. Okay. So still on matters health.
Yes.
Cases of cholera have actually increased in Kampala. And now the Ministry of Health is coming out and saying, you know what, it's the rainy season, so just be careful, take precautions. If you visit the toilet, make sure you wash your hands after that. When you're feeding yourself, eating food, make sure you eat hot food. If not hot, then warm. If you need to prepare food, make sure your hands are clean. Before you drink water, boil it. Now it's boiling, not buying ready-to-drink water that is mineralized. Yes, because there are cartels out there, and all these water bottles we see in the supermarket, not all of them are actually authentic.
I actually
so
don't
it's a
know.
thing of boiling water now. Yes.
Allah is like boiled water.
Boil water.
Boil water.
Boil water.
And in cases of going to the bathroom and not washing your hands, there's a certain gender that does this more than the other. We won't be judging. But also in Kenya, 31,000 fake morning after pills have been confiscated. And there was a discussion on this years ago where they said that when women go to buy morning after pills or emergency contraception, nobody ever reads the expiry dates, nobody ever reads the contents. So many women take morning after pills without knowing what they're ingesting into their bodies. You are not doing well for your body. The sex after that, you are doing more harm to your body after that. And so when you said 31,000 are fake, and I'm told this is a story that has been going on, they've been confiscating fake morning after pills for a long time. It's just that this time they're saying women need to be more careful. These are hormones you're putting into your body, but they're fake hormones at that, which is even worse. So how many years have you been doing it? I know we're now pro over hepatitis B drugs being fake, but now imagine how many young girls are taking Postino, is it?
It's true.
Postino, yes, morning after pills that are fake. You're even doing worse for your body. But are we informed? Let me tell you, nobody ever reads that pack.
Yeah.
But, and I'm sure even...
And the leaflet inside.
Now those ones people throw away. Do you ever read the leaflet inside a pack of medicine? No one ever does. But I think it would do us well. Or just to visit your gynecologist, your doctor, and just ask questions.
What is coming out strongly is that we need to be more, you know, like have these conversations more. Conversations on sexuality, conversations on preventing yourself when you get a sexual partner, when you get to that age of, you know, being active. Because you see, like now it's fake medicine. Yes. At the end of the day, when now you get to that point when you really need a child, then you don't get that child because you messed up your system or because of ignorance. So I think we need to start having these conversations, especially in primary and secondary schools. Okay, as we're winding up the stories of the day, today is actually World Red Cross Day, International World Red Cross Day. I think that's the most recognizable sign, that red cross all over the world. Then you know, it's when you see it, you know help is coming. Yes. Help is close by. You said cholera outbreaks. Yeah. Red Cross is going to be doing a major job out there. And they're saying the key things to look at is impartiality, humanity, dependence, and neutrality. That's what Red Cross is supposed to stand for. They should not involve themselves in any politics, in any wars and wrangles. They're there to just make sure people are fine. They're a helping call. That's what Red Cross. So in case you know any, they'll have 51 branches across this country. So if you know a World Red Cross, it's a Red Cross branch near you, you might want to go and just give them a vote of thanks and say, you know what, thank you for the good work you're doing today. To be part of them. That's I was shying away from saying do volunteer. I don't know if we have a volunteering culture in Uganda, but yes, if you would like to volunteer, would like to. Any final highlights before we go to the next one? I think that's it.
Okay, great. So those are the highlights or stories to look into. Now, the next few minutes, we'd like to tell you what today's show is all about. Remember, the hashtag is Morning at NTV. So what do we have in store for you today? What is the big issue? Now, Morning at NTV has totally changed. What we do is discuss what affects you. What do you need as a Ugandan to have a full life, to live a good quality life? Is it money? Do you want to talk about health? Are you concerned about the family unit, sexual and reproductive health? Every single thing. We say real issues, real people. So today, the big thing, and I'm quite sure we're very passionate about this, savings and retirement. Nobody ever wants to hear retirement in Uganda because you think you're going to work all your life. And nobody ever wants to hear savings because, as Ugandans like to say, we live within the moment. What are your thoughts?
Savings and retirement is quite... it's an important topic to have because many a times when you get to the job market, when you get to that age where you're first employed, we then think that, now I can purchase that car, I can get to a new house and all these things. We always think of how to spend the money, but we never think about spending for those days where we'll no longer be working, we'll be old, and we'll still have children to take care of. Definitely. So I think it's a conversation that we need to have and to take it upon ourselves to actually save for retirement.
Okay, let's take just a quick short breather and I'll be back to tell you what more, of course, is lined up for today.
You're watching Morning at NTV.
So it's Morning at NTV. The hashtag is just that, Morning at NTV. David Burunji on Twitter, thank you so much for checking in. Do let us know if you are watching. Aisha Kal as well, you're on Twitter. The hashtag again is Morning at NTV. Today, if you're just joining us, the show is about savings and retirement. Are you living within your means? Are you able to save based on what you're earning today? If not, can you add to it? Which brings me to the next thing. Today I'll be having a guest who'll be talking about side hustles. Oh, we love a side hustle. Because if you are having an 8 to 5 job and you look at the end of the month after 30 days, 27 days, whatever days you work for in a month, and you're earning X amount of money and you're thinking, with my 600,000 a month, rent, transport, food, other necessities. I don't have enough money to save. Well, why don't you add a side hustle? What are you passionate about? Is there any skill you have that you can use maybe on a Saturday or Sunday to earn you that extra income that can go a long way? So how do you even start to have a side hustle? How many side hustles can you have to maintain it? First of all, as a woman, sometimes it's harder because you're starting a family, you have a partner, you have all these sorts of responsibilities. So it also depends what kind of side hustle you can have. So we're talking about how many side hustles you can have, how to maintain any, and how to turn maybe even your hobbies or passions into profits as side hustles. So look out for that. You'll be using a hashtag to just tell us your thoughts as well. And as she said, she's very passionate about this. You're going to be talking about savings, how you can save money, but there's also that retirement.
Yes, the retirement aspect of it.
Yes.
And that's what we'll be having. On the panel, we'll be having guests. We'll be having the acting CEO of UBRA, who is Martin Subuga, and also we'll be having a retiree who will be giving us his story, because he's been retired for quite some time, but he's comfortable. A retiree who's comfortable because he saved for retirement. So that's a conversation we'll be having and showing you how you can go about it.
Yes, so you are married, you have a family. Do the dynamics of saving Mala as a single woman versus Mala in a home setting, does it change?
It does change. It does change, because now you have the factor of children coming into play. So you need to first think of how you can, you know, save up for their education, because it's not just kindergarten, primary and secondary. There's tertiary education, and at that level you still need to cater for them. So it's in the 20s, so you have to plan, okay, when will this child finish her education, his or her education? It's around 2025 thereabout. So you need to plan 20 years to come. Will they still afford, we will still afford an education, a decent education for them. So you need to plan for their education, and at the same time plan for your retirement as a couple.
Doesn't that mean you work harder though? You work even more?
Yeah. Yes.
Because I can assume with my 8 jobs now, okay, it feels like 8 jobs, but I'm saving up. I do believe in saving, but that's just me. I'm saving for Flavia, and I'm thinking that would mean I work 10 times harder if I have to save
harder
for more.
and save more.
And save more.
So for example, for you, you have like 8 jobs.
Guys,
so make sure
you are a, don't look for me. I only have 1 job.
So out of every gig, you can just tell yourself, for example, the way I'm a Christian, so I pay my tithes on every single penny that comes to my hand. So for you, you can be intentional and say, for every gig that I get, I can save up maybe 2%, 5% for every gig.
For every gig,
yes.
Okay.
So you start saving up. So it's a matter of, and that's the conversation we'll be having. So you save up. Save up where? Are there schemes that you can actually trust to save your money? So it also needs to be pegged on your goals in the future, your long-term goals and what you're looking for. Because there are people who just save the money and keep it safe, but there are people who actually save and let their money grow. I look forward to that conversation. Time check, we're at 7:23. We have to go back to Andrew Chamagero because he's on the ground. If you're just joining us, our show is segmented in a way where we actually come to you and you tell us. We always say we have real issues with real people. You as a Ugandan, what's affecting you? As you've heard today, we're talking about savings and retirement and also a side hustle. You need a side hustle to sort of add to your income. So Andrew Chamagero is on the ground. Last we checked in, he was on Salama Road. And he has to tell us, of course, how prepared he is, how the streets are this morning, how you guys are preparing for work. And of course, we'll check in also to give us what he's expected to talk about or to hear from people today. So I'm not sure if we have Andrew ready. Andrew Chamagero? Hello. I think it's getting busy, but of course it'll be on the ground. He'll be talking to you on the ground. So if you're driving around Salama Road and you see Andrew Chamagero on the street, please tell him your notes and your thoughts on savings and retirement. Do you even intend to retire? Some of you work for yourselves, so you think you never have to actually even retire out of your business, but you can pass it on to your sons, to your daughters, you know, so work out a plan. Andrew Chamagero, are you with us?
Oh yes, I'm with you. I'm coming to you live from Chibuye here, Salama Road.
Did it get cold? What's happening with the jacket?
A lot more is happening. Like you can see, I just bought myself a jacket from a guy who was there. It was called Mayanja. It's just 2,000 K because the weather is threatening to change. You get a jacket. So
that jacket is 2,000 shillings.
Real, it's 2,000 Ugandan shillings. I just bought it a few minutes ago. But well, when we get back shortly after the break, we're going to be discussing with the locals here what they think about savings and retirement. Time and again, the youth have been highlighted as, you know, like they just eat money like they are not saving for tomorrow, or they are having a kind of a will-win kind of spending. When we get back, we'll actually tackle that with the locals here. Well, again, welcome back to what we call the Fresh Morning on NTV, Morning at NTV. I'm Andrew Chamagero, Muntuwa Wansi, Tulipo Ground, and a lot is happening. Today, we are having this conversation at Chibuye. It's between Salama Road and Machindia Road, and we're discussing the issue of saving. Why are people not saving, and if they're saving, why are they saving? Sebo? Ensula? Where Yagala?
Yagala.
Gwani?
Freddy Sebagala.
Freddy Sebagala.
Yes.
Oli mutuze wako no oba just obadde oyitambuyisa?
Ndi mutuze ate mwenkolera.
Mwokolera?
Yes.
Okay. Tutandikire ku kyangu. Olina savings?
Era omuntu omulamu yenna alina okuba nga alina savings. Anaakulaakulana.
Anaakulaakulana.
Alina okuba nga alina saving.
Okay, okola mulimu ki?
Mvuga boda.
Ovuga boda.
Yeah.
Olina ko saving ameka nga lunaku lulungi. Kanzero ajjamu abadde akutte bulungi ate obusinga okukola.
Also saving ekyebiri.
Ekyebiri. So was saving mu week was saving emitwalo 10. Oba oyita?
Mba mpitira ddala singira ku mulimo gwange emaso okufuna emitwalo 10 wiiki mba nkolera ddala naye nga abavubuka basinga kisinga tulema tunyomya emirimu gye tuyina guno omutono gw'oyina n'ogunyooma ne weerabira nti ogwo olina otandikirako savinga gwe gukuwa ekinene ky'olina okukola mu maaso.
Mwami Sebagala, omulimu bwe mba nfuna siringisi 8 nzo nsuubira ku savingako mmeka ku mbeera gye tulimu leero?
Ezo sente nyingi. Akanana ng'okafunye kitegeeza n'obuvunaanyizibwa bw'osaasaanyizaako era olina okendeeza ng'osaasanya ebyakanana n'osaasanyako akakaaga n'ofisaako 2 omwezi oba olina emitwalo 6 oba oyita osogulayo enkoko n'ozireka mu kyalo era Desemba naawe oba olina ky'otunda.
Nkyagadde nnyo ekyo. Olowooza kyekirala ekiganya abavubuka naddala ensangi zino okubeera nti basevinga obuzibu babusinze busangawa?
Sente ze bafuna bazinyooma. N'alowooza nti nze bwe mba nfuna 15,000 natandika kwekubagiza nti nfuna ntono, kituufu ziba ntono naye sente zonna ne wofuna entono ne wofuna ennyingi nga tolina saving era obanga atayina. Ekikulu si sente z'ofuna naye ekikulu saving olina yenkanaki zosavinga.
Kati gwe lwaki osavinga? Weesavingira gwe ng'okaddiye oba osavingira baana bo oba osavingira mukyala we?
Ekikulu kiriwo ekiti byonna nsobola obigatta nti nze nsooka n'ensavinga nsobola okulaba ng'abaana bange ngezaako bafuula ekyomugaso mu maaso. Bo abaana bange bwe ndibafuula ekyomugaso mu maaso ate bwe ndiba nkaddiyeyo basobola okunnyamba. Kati ekikulu n'esavingira n'abaana bange. Kitegedde bulungi nnyo ekyo. Kati bw'otunuulira ku stage w'okolera abavubuka obalaba be basinga okwenyigiramu mize ki egibaganya nnyo savinga ng'oggyeko just nga bazirya nnyo? Akapapula. Akapapula kaleeta obuzibu. Omwana agamba okusulamu n'ebbiri sulamu n'akapapula. Kati nkuba omuyindi. Kati akapapula n'atalya n'atwala weeks 2 ng'asula n'akapapula. Kati weeks 2 singa oba savinga 2,200 oba olinawo sente enkalu z'olina. Kati akapapula baba baakukuba n'obeerera ng'otambulira ojja kukuba omuyindi lumu, ojja kukuba omuyindi.
Well, there you have it. Gentleman here is called Sebagala. He says he actually believes in saving and he's a border rider. Mala, what you can know is that he says that from the border stage where he actually works from, the problem, the youth around that area, or the men around that stage, they believe in betting. Betting has become another problem. So they believe they are going to gamble and get a much more hefty amount, and they can actually save from the hefty amount, but not saving from the little pennies they get. Abavubuka
amagezi genyinza obbawa bakole ate we bakola sente ze bafuna bakkirize nti nyingi bazisevingeko ya
nga tatidde mambo 15 mutwalo sente nyingi.
Yes, n'oba ofuna 3 mukiriza ezo sente nyingi oterekeko 10 ekyo jja kuba oyina 13.
Okay.
Ya
nkitegedde nnyo ekyo.
Nti gusere zonna z'ofuna tandika okkirize nti kuliko z'olina oterekako.
So omulembe guno tugenze nnyo mu betting ne tugenda nnyo ne mu kunywa ebitamiiza.
Yes.
Abakazi tobakonnyeko simanyi lwaki.
Abakazi sitera bagoberamu nnyo erenze tesinga okumanya bakyali bange bendaba akapapula kaleeta obuzibu. Omwana gamusulamu n'ebbiri nsulamu n'akapapula
kakananga kimulidde
nekimulya emyezi 3.
Well, there you have it. Samagala still has the same issue. His idea is simply one. The youth need to get rid of the drugs and betting. I think this is the biggest problem we're having around here. And not only that, he still says that the attitudes, the youth minimize money. They despise the little jobs that they have around. All they want is to get bigger jobs. They can actually start to save from the bigger jobs. That's what we have. Maybe Mala, if we could actually have much more engagement about that, back to you in studio, we could be engaging more with this as we get another guest tonight, rather today. The idea still comes from the yesterday conversation we had. Betting and alcoholism and attitudes seem to take center stage here.
Notion of waiting for a big job to start on saving, where is it coming from? Is it a peer influence factor? What exactly is it? Where is it coming from, such that they believe they cannot actually start saving up because they don't have that big job?
Okay. Mwami Semagala ali mu studio mbuziza nangamba nti oloza kino kivaawa ekyobuta saving ambavubuka bana na Uganda.
Bana Uganda ebisere bisinga betagamu okusomesebwa. Mu Uganda mulimu ekintu ekitambula nti abantu baavu. Ne batamanya nti obwavu buvaawo na kutereka. Kati omuntu ng'oli mwavu tewaliyo muntu mugagga nga sente bazifuna emirundi 3 okuzisikira okuzikola ng'ozisevinze oba n'ozibba. Kati okubba tekusoboka n'okuzisikira ate nakyo kizibu abazayi tebasevinga. Kati kitegeeza ng'oba olina okubeerawo n'otandika ng'okusevinga. Tebasevinga nabo balowoozanga nti obwavu butuluma. Kati ze kye neebuuza obwavu nabo Museveni yaliwo nga butulumisa. Nze era muzayi namubuuza ekibuuzo kyamusoboza nagamba balugali bulomulembe gwa bwavu. Naye ate mu mirembe gye Museveni yali afuga namwe tebwasevinga sente mwazikwata bubi.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go, Mala. He still says that it all comes from the attitudes. And he actually suggests that there are 3 ways you can actually get money. 1 is you inherit your wealth. 2, you work hard for it, or you steal. And he says now our parents didn't save enough, so that's why we are in this their situation. Then the only way forward is just to save. Sebo Jeban. Bakuyitani.
Bampita Wanyama David Sebo.
Wanyama David.
Yes, Sebo.
Ekintu ky'okusavinga okyogirako kimu bafubuka ennaku zino oba mu Uganda bana Uganda generally.
Ekintu ky'okusavinga mu Uganda wano tufunamu obuzibu bungi lwa nsonga gavumenti etubinika nnyo emisolo.
Okay.
Ogenda ofundikira ng'okoze kituufu nga ky'okoze nga tolina kyosigaza kyosevinze. Niweebuuza oba obuzibu buvaawa. Nze ndowooza ku bantu ffe aba wansi mbadde nteesa oba gavumenti mbadde njiwa amagezi etunuulire nnyo ku bantu ba wansi tusobole okukola tusobole okusevinga tusobole okulaakulanya ki eggwanga lyaffe.
Mu misolo obadde oyagala ebeere lenient etya?
Emisolo okusinziira ku bintu bye tukozesa ewaka bye bitusinza otutta. Ebiseera ebisinga obungi tukola naye abaana tebasoma babagoba ne batuula ewaka nga tebakoze ebibuuzo. Kati obwo obuzibu bwe tufunye bino ebintu bye tukozesa ewaka batunuuliremu basobole okendeza.
Gavumenti ebalemesezza okusevinga kubanga emisolo gye bateekako minene
nga tetusobola kusevinga. Kituufu nnyo.
Kati gwe ng'omuntu osevinga waka sente n'ogamba nti nze nga nze Davis ngenda kusevinga sente zino zijja kunnyamba nga nkaddiyemu.
Kaakati tetukyasobola lwa nsonga lwa misolo tetukyasobola tolina kyosigaza tolina kyosigaza sente zokola nezokulya zikubula kati zokusavinga onazijjawa
naye David engeri gyosavinga omutwego guno notikako element kyoyagala ne bwoba ofunye akabenje osigale ng'oli mulamu ekyo kyobalizo kya element naye bwe tutunuulira obulamu bwo oba tosavinze osuubira otya okubeera saved mu maaso awo nga tolinaawo wadde
tosobola kusavinga twagala tusavinga obulamu bwaffe tubutereezaawo mu maaso naye gituyitiriddeko emisolo gituyitiriddeko tetukyasobola kusavinga sente
ku stage
batujjako laba batukwata ate n'ekirala kati nga piki zaffe zino batukwata ne batujjako sente nnyingi agenda kwata piki akuggyeko $5,000
olimba naawe
kati $5,000 zikolera myaka 5
omusirikale
oyo ozeewoze ogenze wa manirenda weewoze sente ze $5,000 ogenda ogyeyo piki kati weweewola sente manirenda agenda kubinika ki emisolo nga miyitirivu.
I know. Well, there you have it. The gentleman here says that the problem is the government policy. The taxation, the taxes are really high for them. They cannot actually meet the taxes and they meet their daily needs back at home. And not only that, he says that the stages they subscribe to, they are equally levied from those very stages. Then when their motorbikes are told by whoever is in authority to get it back, it's 500,000 Ugandan shillings plus. Now they have to go to the money lender to get back the bike. So the whole cycle leaves them in a cycle of poverty. But he says if government could actually loosen a little bit on the taxes, they could actually have a better flow on that.
So having incentives, eh?
Oh yes. Jebaliko.
What is Amanya Gamata Frederick Sentasa?
Ngoje kerementi. Okay, twogera ku kigambo kya saving. Gwa savinga.
Okusavinga sente tusavinga. N'omusolo gwe batwaddeko mungi ddala.
Okuvira ddala wansi.
Okuvira ddala wansi. Okutuuka waggulu.
Musolo guyingirira gutya savings zo.
Omusolo gwingirira guti savings zaffe. Tiwobeera omuvuzi wa boda boda ng'obadde onoonya ssente obadde ogambye kusavinga ssente bwe ziti. Ng'ogambye kusavinga ssente oba ogamba kusavinga mutwalo. N'omala ebbanga oba lya wiiki ng'emu ng'obadde kale obadde osavinga. Ate olwo bw'ofunira ate obadde obogeze mu tawuni ng'eyo abasirikale ne bakukwata. Naye ate bakukwata bakubulira nsonga lwaki bakutte. Tebakubuuza buli kimu otuuka bagamba genda bugenzi wa ku CPS. Ne CPS omala okutuuka bwoti ne wababuuza nti ewaayi musango ki toyinza kusinga wa traffic
Eva yabeera omutuufu.
Kwata fayiro ogende wa
ewa traffic officer.
Nga bugenda bakuwandiikira ng'ogenda mu banka ng'osasula ssente zaabwe ze baagala ng'atole okojja eno
osasula kyotomanyi
obabuuza nti waayi mumanya ssente nga mmeka bugundi misango ki gino misango mingi nnyo naye tebasobola kubalako nti oba kino oba guno oba guli.
So kitegeeza tosobola savinga mu mbeera bwe
savinga bwete tusobola kusavinga.
Waliwo yagambye nti abavuka muli nnyo mu betting munywa nnyo ebiyagayaga endowooza bwetyo eyinza okuba nga yemu kuzibwa ku tene zibagano savinga kituufu bangi babeera mu betting babeera banywa enjagayaga naye ate si bonna. Kuba osobola okusanga omunywi enjaga naye ate ng'asavinga osobola okusanga atanywa njaga naye ng'asavinga asobola okusanga atanywa njaga nga talina kyakupesa kyonna naye nga tasavinga byo byamulema. So kibeera mu muntu kusalawo na mbeera gye tulimu
kisinziira omuntu ngeri gy'aba asazeewo eriye n'omutima gwe
embeera n'etambula bwe. Well, there you have it. Ekozi wagambye gwani
amanya babita Frederick
Sentasa. He has a point. He still says that the problem is the government policy, still on taxes and the likes, but he still says that the institutions that handle them, like the police, they are always arrested when they go to the metropolitan, that is Kampala. When they ride to Kampala, they're always arrested and they're never told why they're being arrested. Now, to redeem your bike, they are given fines they don't know about, and says that with this kind of cycle, no Ugandan can save any amount of money.
Let me ask you, Chamagero. Chamagero, are you with me? Chamagero?
Yep.
Chamagero, I'd like you to also get their views on retirement. Are they thinking about retirement? Fine. Already we've established that there are issues with them having a problem with saving because of high taxation and then big fines whenever they're found on the wrong side. But is there an aspect of retirement? Do they have that aspect at the back of their minds on a day-to-day basis?
Okay, kati Blood, engage ekiri nti tosobola ku saving embeera gye tulimu. Gwe olowoozaako nti bw'onooba owummudde n'ova mulimu gwa boda ogenda kukola otya, ogenda beerawo otya?
Era bannange simanyi kuba emirimu gya boda gye tufunamu ssente. Gye tufunamu ssente ne bakukwata n'obugenda n'ogijjayo ssente bonna bw'obadde osevinza n'obuwaayo eri ku poliisi ayina oddamu n'okola oba wakamala bw'oti ate ne baddamu n'akukwatayo ekintu kye kimu nga tebakubudde ensonga yonna.
Kwegamba gwe tolina kye bayita kuwummula, totegeeza kuwummulako lwa mbeera gy'olimu.
Embeera gye ndimu tosobola kuwummula nti oba ogamba nti olunaku lw'Essande leero sigenda kukola. Olina okukola okuva Monday mpaka Sunday nga towummudde ate Monday babukukumba bonna ne babutwala.
Embeera mbi nnyo. There you have it. He actually says that you cannot think of retirement before you save. Mala, he says that the situation he's going through is really so hard for them to save. They work Monday to Sunday, Monday to Monday, because they have no clear way of how to survive. The little monies you have, before you know, they're actually taken from you by the security agencies and whoever is in charge. Sebo wasumbu somazizao.
Nzimaze.
Gwani?
Wampita Modern Don Nelson.
Modern Don Nelson?
Yeah.
Ngoi nerinya. Okay. Olina ko saving a sente meka?
Saving a sente emitwalo ebiri.
Emitwalo ebiri.
Kubanga asumbusemu nzijaho 10. Ate ensonga twetulina. Bulijjo twetuli batembeeyi yetugenda wonna. Tusisikana na kaso kubanga ffe tuli baana b'essomero tusobola kubula sente z'okusomero ne tudatembeya ne tufunayo sente ng'emitwalo 4 ne tuddayo ku ssomero. Ante ekintu kitunyiza ate musobola kutuyamba. Bulijjo ffe simanyi ngo engeri z'okubawa emisolo KCA bitunyiza kubanga bulijjo batutwala eri
oba tusobola funa fees zimala. Kati gwe weeterekerawo sente nga mmeka ng'oggyeko eza school fees?
Za school fees ntereka ng'emitwalo 3.
Mitwalo 3? Kitegeeza buli tamu buli ofuna holidays n'ojja n'oddamu n'okinoonya buto?
Bulijjo ninyonya nimala niddayo ku ssomero.
Gwe kesisi ye tekutawaanya?
Entawaanya nnyo kubanga lumu bankute ndi ku taxi park enkadde eri Kampala nabadde ntute sumbusa 10. Niwankwata ate ensonga omukwata omuntu bamukuba mpi esente nibazimupepetamo nibazitwala ate tolina kusevinga za bossi simanye ensonga titwe tukole etya.
Well, there you have it. Don Nelson has a challenge. He actually, he hawks sumbusas. These are edibles for us, Abantu Bawansi. His challenge says that he does this to get school fees with his other peers. But the problem is when they come to town, they are arrested by KCCA. Like yesterday, he had a bad scenario. He had 100 pieces of sumbusas, and he was arrested. And they took 30 of them now. He has to explain back to the boss where the 30 pieces, and he doesn't have that money to actually catch up with that. So he says still the policies and the ones running the city and whoever is in charge, they're not giving them a chance to flourish. If they were given a chance to flourish in business, maybe they could actually save. So Mala, the challenge here is, I think, policy.
The policy is the challenge, eh? But did he mention that he actually saves? I think he mentioned that he saves.
Like?
Chamagero, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, I think
yes,
he actually mentions that he saves a certain percentage per day.
Yes.
Yes.
He's paid, and the money is paid per day. He saves that money, and when the holiday is done, he has like 300,000 Ugandan shillings. Then he can actually sponsor himself back to school.
Congratulations to him. At least we have one person that is in the informal sector and actually saving. So the major issue he has is an issue of policies. Policies that will protect him to flourish in his informal sector, selling sambusas. Yes?
Oh, yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Chamagero, there's this other thing that I'd like you to establish on the ground. Do they see different schemes coming to them to give them information on how they can go about saving, and not just saving but saving for retirement? Have they ever come about maybe schemes, representatives coming to them to inform them and give them that information that they can actually do it with the little they earn, even if it means 500 shillings per day? Has that gotten to them?
Okay. Mulimu gwe mukola wano eno mu kutunda somosa mwali mufunyeko abantu tebajja ne babangulako ne bagamba mulina savinga bakusomesa omugaso gw'okusavinga ne bakusomesa bw'osavinga ofunamu kikola kitya
taliwo wansomesa ate kubeera n'essuubi kati tukola mu kiro okubanga KCCA tuzukuka sawa 6 z'ekiro nitusiika nitumala nitutandika kutambula mu kiro tugenda mu mabaala Makindi eri Kampala wamabaala jabeera mu saidi zonna
kati gwe weeba kaddi
nze maze ngenda kwebaka sawa 3 oba 4 tandike siike nde mu kibuga ngende mu byalo gwe ntambuza mu byalo kyokka siddamu kujja eno mu Kampala paka kiro.
Okay. Mala, he says he was once given that kind of knowledge, just once. And it's from that kind of interaction that he learned how to save. And he says in Kampala, they can't sell beyond 9 a.m. in the morning. So in the night, that's when they come in Kampala and in the nearby pubs and bars. But then later in the day, he sleeps at 9 a.m. and wakes up later at around like noon. Then he goes in the nearby suburbs, but not in Kampala. Okay. So that's what we can have on ground. Yes, some information has come through. They've been illuminated a little. A few have picked and others have adamantly refused.
Thank you so much, Shamagero. At least we have some insight on what is on ground. Yes, what I'd like you to probably do for me is to get to a border stage, and so we can be able to establish if these border guys do have a saving scheme they are under. A border stage, a proper one. I don't know if you can be able to get to that later on though, not now, because that will give us a clear view of what needs to be done on the ground. Shamagero, thank you so much for that insight.
Right now, Mala, where I am, the borders seems to be, all the borders around, they seem to be up and running because it's a Russia. But when I get one, of course, I'll actually get back to you.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for that segment, Shamagero. That was so informative. But don't you worry, we'll have this conversation. Quite interesting. You need to save up, and not just saving up, but saving for retirement, because you know what? By the day, you're growing old. And you actually have people who depend on you on a day-to-day basis. These people will depend on you for not less than 20 years. So it's a conversation that we'll be having after this short break, so keep tuned. Welcome back to the show. In case you're just catching us, today we're talking about savings and retirement as a motivator to use saving. So in studio today we have the acting CEO of UBRA, Mr. Martin Subuga. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So today the big conversation is on savings, and before we went on the break we had views on the ground of people saying, you know what, even if I save, I'm just saving so little because my income is so scarce. Exactly. And the other thing is, even if I want to save consistently, there's this issue of high taxation on my hustle. There's this thing of, if I'm just found on the wrong, then the fines are exorbitant, such that I cannot even be able to get back on my feet. So it's different views. There are other people who are saying, okay, fine, I've not yet started on a saving culture because I'm waiting to get that big job so I can actually start on saving. But the question is, why should we start thinking of savings and retirement intentionally?
Thank you so much, Malik. This is, and good morning, viewers. I'm humbled to be on this show this morning.
Thank you.
UBRA was established to supervise and regulate the operations and management of retirement benefit schemes. So, as you think about saving for retirement, our first phase was to consider the fundamentals and the foundation. Where will you keep your money for saving for retirement? How secure will it be? Will it be protected? So that's what we've been doing for the last 5 years of establishment, putting structures in place, promoting issues of governance, promoting issues of who is a trustee. Those are the people like board of members or directors. And also, these funds are managed by professionals. We are looking at fund managers, we are looking at custodians, we are regulated by Bank of Uganda. So that has been our move. But then we also realized that there is need to educate the public.
Yes.
So 2 years ago we launched our first campaign, which was called the ZAB Life, to educate the masses. It was our pilot one, just to establish and feel what is on the ground. it was a short campaign, but it was, as I've said, pilot. What we wanted to establish, what is on the ground. And of course, what we've discovered are the issues you've raised. I don't earn so much. How can I save when I have so many demands, etc., etc. But the message you are saying, unlike the savings we know, or unlike the savings that people put in a commercial bank or elsewhere, saving for retirement is long term. So it's money that you would keep, and it will also earn a revenue for you through investments. So what we are talking of here is that when somebody is saving, well, the concern of small monies is valid, but you are saving for long term. Just imagine you are saving 10,000 every day. So I take an example of a border that I was watching this morning, who saves 10,000 a day, and is working 30 days a month. We are talking of 300,000. We are talking of 3.6 million a year. However, that money was going to be invested because it's long term. Just imagine you are saving for 10 years. That little money is saving for 10 years. And you've set it aside for your retirement. I mean, we are talking of over 40 million. That is including interest and any other. It would be much, much more. So the principle here, it's not how much, but the spirit of saving. Because what we've set on the ground are the fundamentals, structures in place, establishment of governance, experts to invest your money, to give you a modest earning.
But how, okay, you have been in the ground since you actually established UBRA and with the Zabu Life campaign actually. How was the reception on the ground? Did you get more people to come and realize, you know what, then this is a thing I need to start thinking about? But before you get to answer that question, we have Chamagero on ground with someone with a question. Chamagero, can you hear me? Chamagero? Chamagero?
Well, I'm still down here and I have a gentleman here. So, Vakuitan.
Miremo Richard.
Richard, buuza ekibuuzo.
Ekibuuzo kyembuuza. Kyembuuza eri.
Nga tonnabuuza kiki kino ky'otunda?
Nze ndi mutembeyi. Nava mu kyalo. Kale nali nkolera emitiana. Mu butuufu emitiana emirimu nga tewali.
Nojja otunda eki kino.
Kaakati emirimu wegyabula emitiana nenjijja neeyiza e Kampala. Olw'okuba yo wabeerayo kampuni nyingi naye mu butuufu emirimu tegirabika mu Uganda.
Muzeyi otunda ki?
Ntunda mulondo.
Otunda mulondo? Mulondo ne mwange.
Bwe nanoonya omulimu ne gubula ne nsalawo abantu bange ne bankwata ku mukono ne bampa ssente kapita atandika ne nsubula omulondo ate nali ngunyooma nga simanyi kiki gulimu naye kati ngenza okulaba gumpadde essanyu kuba mulondo gulimu ssente.
Omulondo mu wiiki ennungi ofuna ssente mmeka?
Nsobola wiiki emu nsobola okukola n'emitwalo 2.
Mitwalo 2? Osevingako mmeka?
Nsevinga omutwalo gumu buli lunaku.
Lwaki gumu? Gumu buli lunaku?
Buli lunaku.
Kitegeeza ku mitwalo 2 z'oba osevinze?
Nze mba nsevinze ndala n'ensuubuza.
Ndala n'osuubuza paafu. Buuza ekibuuzo kyo mu studio mukugu gyali. Kati
ekibuuzo kye mbuuza, lwaki abantu abawansi babanyigiriza nnyo nga ate bakimanyi Uganda temuli mirimu? Omuntu aba asobodde okubaako kye yeeyiza n'atabba balina okumuwagira ate ne basanyukira omuntu akola.
Baani abakunyigiriza?
Abo abakanso batunyigiriza nnyo. Sijja kwogera nti nzekka wabula ku buli ne bannange mboogerera abawansi abeetandika obwetandisi batunyigiriza nnyo, batukwata n'ebintu ne babitwalira ddala ate bw'ogendanga okubinunula bakusiba busibi ate noyongerayo ssente. Njagala gavumenti ebeere n'omutima ng'ogwa black white ogwa oba blind white ogulumirwa omuntu wa wansi.
Okay, there you go. Mala, the gentleman here sells these are African hubs. If you're a man and you're there, you could actually resonate with me about this. When you have this hub, your manhood is energized beyond. So the gentleman sells this kind of hub, but he still faces the same challenge like the others. He says that they're always over-levied taxes. Then when they take their merchandise, it's very hard to redeem the merchandise back. So he's saying that the government should have a good heart to let the ones, the common man, umuntu wa wansi to flourish, let them do business, because it's petty cash they're using to start up a life.
Thank you so much, Chamagero. Mr. Nsubuga.
Thank you, ma'am.
There's this issue of people in the informal sector not being able to get into a scheme, but we'll still get into the trust issues aspect of that. So they're saying they're not able to get into a savings scheme because, number one, there are no incentives. Like, for example, is it possible for them to have, you know, their taxation lowered so that they can actually afford to start on a saving? What incentives is UBRA putting in place to ensure that the people who earn little in the informal sector, the SMEs, the hustlers out there, are able to be sure that they can actually afford that coin or two, even if it means 500 shillings every single day, to save up in a savings scheme, say SACCOs, all these things, and they're actually there. So what is UBRA doing to make sure that a person like him can actually get into savings? Because he's saying the major task, the major hustle, the major challenge he's facing is the taxation is so high. So by the time he's taxed, by the time he gets into the wrong and fined, then there's nothing left to actually eat, not to mention to save.
Thank you much. That is true. In the execution of our work, we've established that the informal sector needs to be motivated. They need incentives. That is very correct. I don't want to go into the business operations where there are structures in place of licenses, etc. But I'm very certain that if you're operating in a regulated environment, there are fees you're expected to pay. That is part of our policy. Whether they are much or low, that's a different story. However, I just want to concentrate on saving for retirement. Having been subjected to all those chains of whatever they are, taxes or etc., you are remaining with little money. That is very true. And we've established that there is need for some tax incentives and setting in place, for example, if you are saving a certain minimum, you can be waived from taxation. But those are discussions we're engaging with the Minister of Finance, with the URA, and there is a task force that was established to study the mechanism, because there are enough, of course we are looking at it from the broader perspective of the many tax regimes or taxations that people have to pay along the way. But looking at the informal sector, apart from the license we know about, I don't think there's any tax on their savings, because the amounts they're talking about seem to be below the tax bracket. However, probably in the things they trade in, probably in things they transact in, maybe from that perspective. But we've always said, irrespective of that, that should not stop you from saving for retirement. There's actually a compensation for that.
There is?
Because if you are saving for retirement and it's long term, the returns you are getting out of it may be much better than... However, it's a valid point.
Yes.
We need to put these people on board.
And let me now get more personal and get to the household on a day-to-day basis. This is a person who has rent to pay. So let's speak about the big, expenditures in a basic family. There's food, there's the rent, and there's also this issue of health.
Yes.
And nowadays, for you to get treatment, even if you have to, spend the bare minimum, is get medication. So is there any incentive that UBRA has put in place to entice these people and actually get them into a savings scheme, for example, maybe a SACCO, such that if you come on board as a member, then you'll have a certain package on health, something like that, something that will entice them. They'll say, okay, fine, let me hustle, let me not spend this much, and actually try and merge up my coins to be able to save at this particular bracket, so I can be able to afford a decent healthcare for my family. Have you thought about it? Have you put it into place to try and think of ways where you can entice these people? Because it's a big thing, because when you're trying to get people not to die as much as possible, because let's face it, the person who is down there, most of the times the deaths they incur maybe in a family setting. It's just because they did not afford a decent health care. So have you put that into consideration and try to put in package, or maybe just get partners who would think of that and put up a package on health? Because for me, I'm sure they can always get food. They can always farm in a small piece of land and get food on a day-to-day basis. But health is a different discussion altogether.
It is still a valid observation. Health, there are considerations to that, and we know that in the formal sector, there is a consideration that of the contributions we make, can you get a proportion that can go for your health?
Yes.
That is under discussion.
Okay.
And I think as you enhance or develop the product further, you can go into those details. But I'm looking at the informal person, the informal sector, who wants to be encouraged to save. I think the best thing to do, you may not combine, you can combine it with health, but health has a cost. Unlike saving for retirement, which is long term, health is immediate. So that means that it's going to encroach on your long term savings. What is going to happen? At the end of the day, the surplus you remain for your retirement will be encroached upon. However, we know that there are other incentives that you can put in place. We know that people spend on consumption. They've already mentioned it. Food, any other thing. Utilities. So the thinking we have now, can we put an incentive on consumption? That if I spend so much, say, on food, the money I spend, want to take advantage of the card business that we have today, the debit cards. Can you get a proportion of that expenditure? In principle, you are in saving unintentionally, but indirectly, you are motivated to save. As you spend for consumption, you are also motivated or forced to save. A portion of the expenditure is taken up. But that one requires a centralized structure in place.
Centralized structure in place.
And the structure has to be under the supervision, say, of government, for sure. It can't be UBRA, because UBRA is a regulator.
Correct.
But we can regulate that, such that there is also a system interlinkages in all the transaction business, and then encourage the business of trading using even mobile money. If I use mobile money today, and a part of the costs that I spend that are being championed through taxes, can that portion go to my saving directly? So we are thinking through all those, and subsequently shall come up with a clear direction. But we really appreciate the concerns.
All right. Let's switch gears to the question of saving schemes and trust. As UBRA, you are mandated to actually provide security and to manage all the schemes that are coming up, them that have been there for quite some time. But there's this trust factor. And many a times, like we saw on the ground, there's one person who was saying, I am not saving, I'd rather stay with my money, because many a times I've heard of stories where there's a scheme, I saved up, but after a short period of time, these guys are nowhere to be seen. They left with my money, they vacated and vanished with my money. The trust issue. What should people look out for before they get into a savings scheme, just to protect themselves and to know that these are people who are authentic, these are people who are regulated, and they're actually registered by UBRA? What should the common citizen look out for to just secure themselves?
I think before a citizen thinks of saving for retirement, he should look at, we have already licensed 66 schemes today.
Yes.
And the only unfortunate bit is that 66 of those are in the formal sector, including NSSF. There are only 2 informal schemes which we've licensed, and that is Mazima and Kasita.
Okay.
They are, they're in their infancy stages. But one thing you should look out for, is it licensed? That is true.
Okay.
Licensed by UBRA.
So 2, licensing, okay.
Does it have in place the governing structures? That means that the board of directors are trustees licensed by UBRA, because we license all the trustees.
Okay.
2, are the investments effected or executed by fund manager licensed by UBRA? So there's a segregation of duties. And of course, 3, do they have a custodian who is going to take charge of keeping this money and all the the title deeds or ETs, etc. of that scheme.
Okay.
And that's the structure we've established in this country. It's a segregated responsibility to build trust and confidence.
Okay, and for example, so how do they get to know that body X of a scheme is actually licensed by UBRA? Do they come to you? Is there a portal where they can follow to actually search the name of this scheme and get to know if it's
our
an authentic
website
scheme?
has a list of all schemes.
Okay.
And also there, I mean, any person, like you're going to take a commercial bank, you have to take your responsibility and establish. I understand the informal sector people. But all these schemes that are promoting themselves, they are required, if you are going to promote your scheme, to reflect in your advert or whatever promotion material, UBRA, registered or licensed by UBRA.
Okay.
So it's a requirement.
Okay.
You cannot just go and publish a document and then start moving around. It has to be evidence, and that evidence is supposed to be shown on that advertisement material. In addition, you're also required to include who are your custodians.
Yes.
Show them in that promotion material. Who are your fund managers? Show them in that material. Such that, yes, despite the informal person not having detailed idea of who a fund manager is or a custodian, that one we shall educate along the way, but at least there are principles in place and structures.
Okay, and has UBRA covered enough ground to just do their surveys? Because you've mentioned that in the informal sector we just have 2 schemes that have registered with you, but I believe there are quite many out there.
Yes.
What are you putting in place to actually cover enough ground and get to fish out these schemes that are actually operating on limbo without being regulated by UBRA?
That's a big task. We regulated, we licensed these first schemes as a pilot phase, as a study, and we've seen and learned a number of things. We've also noted that it's very difficult to combine different interest groups into one scheme. So we're now looking at targeting particular entities or groups. Borders are one of them, farmers are one of them. So we're now we have programs next year come July. For now we are trying to establish the structures and now we are going to go about it. But our activities effective July has to go out to those identified groups. We know there are borders, we know there are farmers. You know, there are different groups in this country which we want to target. However, in the meantime we've also noted that even the students at the university need to know about this. There are those who earn some little money whilst still at the university. And there are those who think that they'll wait for that big job to start saving for retirement. No. We are now in universities. We did one activity at Makerere University. We are going to Mbarara University very soon. So that's the program, like several university groups.
So
we know the numbers are many.
Sensitizing the youth as soon as possible.
Exactly. So
that it's never too early to start up on a retirement saving.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we've clustered our groups. We've done to this group, this group, this group. But as you rightly stated, the informal sector in this country is almost over 90%. And I cannot say that we can deliver that in 1 year or 2 or 3. But I'm very certain we shall be some miles. By the end of next financial year, if I'm given an opportunity to come back to this show, I'll provide an update. I know the numbers will be much more. I believe the awareness will be different. We are putting a mechanism to test the results. I mean, when we do all these initiatives, what impact are they creating? We are doing that assessment, and then we can come up with clear numbers.
All right. If you're watching, I hope you're taking notes, because this is quite, this is a discussion that is quite informative. There's this other question, Mr. Nsubuka, about people who, their fathers, for example, or mothers or parents, so to speak, actually saved up in a registered and proper scheme or organization. But after the demise of their parents, then they've been taken in circles. They're not able to get that money. And at the end of the day, their parents are actually saving for their good, but they're in a position where they cannot get their money. There have been many complaints. So how does a citizen, for example, watching right now, and they're in that row where they actually have everything they need in terms of documentation and all these procedures, they're in line with it, but they're still being taken in circles and they're not getting their money? How do they go about it? Do you, as UBRA, do you have a policy protecting such, or a complaint kind of procedure that people can go through that is effective and that can take up on these cases hands-on?
That's a good question. Please come to UBRA. One of our mandate is to help to protect the interests of members of a scheme and their beneficiaries. And the beneficiaries here, we are looking at the example we've given.
Yes.
A person died and left behind children or otherwise. Those are beneficiaries.
Yes.
Please bring those documents. Our mandate is to exercise, we can exercise it, and we can, I mean, we've acted on that on so many occasions. Of course, we have challenges with the means of public service because of the structures in place and the decentralization that they put in place. But we have a working relationship with them, and we've been able to solve many problems of people.
Okay, in a nutshell, how long does that procedure have to take? The procedure of a next of kin coming to claim that money. In a nutshell, just professionally, how long is it supposed to take before they get their money?
Well, ideally, if all the documents are available,
in place,
in place, and we are also in contact with the institution that is the complaint is addressed.
Yes.
It shouldn't take more than 2 weeks because you've tested
more than
it.
2 weeks.
It has worked. However, we also know of situations where the institution that has this complaint has probably other structural differences. For example, we know that in public service they decentralized, and then they gave other institutions to, not this institution, but whatever the districts, to meet these costs. So it means there are other budgetary considerations to make provision for the money and then avail the funds. But at least we would have got the assurance that yes, we know this case, we've recognized it, and come this period in time, they are going to be paid. We can have that, like I've said, if you are in contact with the public service, it has taken us a month for a fact.
All right.
But these other schemes that we license, in less than 2 weeks, we've got a response.
In less than 2
and
weeks.
We've acted.
Okay. So coming from the horse's mouth, in a nutshell, just the general documents that someone, a next of kin, has to have for them to be given that money. What are they? Just a general view of them. What are these documents they need to have?
They are normally standard documents, an appointment letter. I know whether your parent kept it for you or you can get access to it.
So an appointment letter.
If there is a unique number, sometimes they keep a pay slip. That is enough evidence because each pay slip, whether government or otherwise, has some unique number, and it also shows the deductions that were being made for you.
Okay.
That is if you are in the
formal
an institution
sector?
that is not a NSSF, the formal sector. And two, we shall need evidence that the person really died, existed anyway.
So a death certificate will do?
Death certificate. And also to prove that you're a beneficiary. Being a beneficiary, you either letters of administration that you are given the powers for the administration, or we even if it's not there, we can verify with the entity that we're dealing with that among the beneficiaries registered by this, your former member who passed away, do you have this beneficiary on your list? Because one of the requirements for registering a member, you also have to declare the beneficiaries.
Yes, the next of kin.
The next of kin is normally one in banking, but here we say beneficiaries.
So it can actually be a
more
number
than
of
one,
people.
yes.
Okay.
So we refer to that. That institution refers to that.
Okay.
So when we are communicating with that institution, we communicate. We've received this complaint from this person, whom you have to verify whether he's a genuine beneficiary, because we don't keep the record. We are not supposed.
Yes.
The entity is supposed to do that. Two, you've not paid. Why haven't you not paid? We expect a response within 3 days, 5 days. And they've acted to provide a response. And most cases they tell us, yes, we know this person, he died or she died, he had accumulated so much money, and we've not got anybody to claim this money. Those are some examples. Others, what we received as an entity is so much. Okay. However, our employer was supposed to remit some funds which are not yet remitted. Then we know that there's another case now to follow up, because remitting of funds, non-remittance of funds is illegal, and we can follow it up with you. So we followed it up with many employers and made sure that the required remittances are executed. Okay. Yeah, but those are things that we do. We have a complaints desk. Okay. We've also this year we launched our complaints portal on our website. You can go into it, lodge into your complaint. You can even track the complaint, because whatever letters would communicate, we make sure we give you a copy or we upload it on the system. Okay. So we keep you informed whatever is going on to your complaint. Okay.
As we wind up, there's this issue of civil servants. They're not in the informal sector, but their income bracket is quite on the lower side. And most of them actually say that NSSF is like forced retirement saving, where you really have to, by the end of the day, when you get your monthly salary, there's this slash that comes every single month. But what is URBRA doing to make sure that they get to that group of people, to tell them, you know what, fine, this is being slashed, but it has to happen, such that they don't feel like it's forced saving? Because when we went on ground and spoke to quite a number of civil servants, they were saying, when I look at my pay slip at the end of the month, this has been slashed and it's on a constant, and this is money I really don't feel like I can, you know, I can afford to be put on aside. A, you know, to be put aside on a retirement saving scheme. So what is URBRA doing to step up, or to just advise the people who are regulated under you, the organizations regulated under you, to at some point have these campaigns to tell people, fine, at the end of the month this is being slashed, but it's because of this. These are the benefits, and this is how you can actually grow your savings, because there are different plans of savings for your retirement, on how you can still save up for your retirement and grow your money. Maybe you can tell us more about that, and tell us if URBRA is doing something to make sure that the people registered under them, the organizations registered under them, are actually sensitizing these workers and giving them why they have to save up. That's
a good one. We've conducted 2 pre-retirement trainings. Okay. And we target people who are 5 years to retirement. 5 years to retirement. Okay. But this is what we've noted. Okay. As we present to them saving for retirement, as you prepare for retirement, you need to plan ABCD. Yes. The question that comes to us, why didn't you tell us this earlier? So we have a lot of work to do. Not only to mobilize saving for retirement, but also to educate the masses that this little money you are saving is very important for you in retirement. The only problem we are having, which is a structural one, is that after saving for long for retirement in this country, people are given a lump sum amount. So, and the studies have shown, NSSF has done quite a good work on that, that almost 80%, close to 80% of people have lost that money in the first 2 years. 3 years, 2-3 years. Okay. So it loses the meaning of saving for retirement. The first place, yes. So at the end of the day, you'll find these people even poorer, yet they got a lot of money. Yes. So the structural reforms that we are putting forward, can we have a pension arrangement? Instead of giving this per 100%, give them a certain proportion, say a third or a quarter of the saving on a monthly basis. No, a quarter as a lump sum, and then the 3/4 or 2/3 remainder is invested, and then you get a monthly check. Okay. Of the returns, of the profits of that investment. Okay. Such that it is a discussion. And is this a conversation that these schemes are actually having with the members? Because I'm thinking 90% of people who save up, for example, with NSSF or different schemes, are not given this information, where they know that, okay, I have options where by the time I'm getting to retirement, I can actually leave my money there and get it invested, and actually the money that I'll be getting out of it is just returns and returns
pensions so that the money is working for them in retirement.
No, unfortunately, the structure is not allowing us to do that.
Okay.
Because once you retire, you're expected to be paid your lump sum. That's the unfortunate bit. And that's why we are promoting a serious reform process, that instead of paying people lump sum,
give them a pension
let's have
structure.
either pension structure or annuities, cash drawdowns, whatever it is.
Okay.
And unfortunately, this has taken long. It was one of the brilliant ideas that were in the liberalization bill that is before Parliament.
So this is work in progress.
Yes, serious work in progress.
Okay, thank you so much for coming on the show. I hope you've learned a thing or two and you've actually taken notes. If you have inquiries, they have a complaint desk. You can actually go to the website and get that done. Make sure you register your complaint and be intentional about saving up for retirement. Flavia, if you can hear me? Flavia?
Yes, I can.
Hi, Flavia, how are you?
I'm great.
What do you have for us today?
Well, I'm sitting at the Explorer restaurant at the Serena Hotel, somewhere where you can get a calm ambience, have a good cup of tea. And this morning, since everyone is complaining about the source of money, they're saying we're making money, but it's not enough to pay taxes, live within our means, and save. I thought, what about talk about a side hustle?
Brilliant.
And I'm hosting DJ Carol. We'll be back with Take Note after this.
Thank you.
Well, good morning. It's morning at NTV. You're with me, Flavia, and this is our Take Note segment. And we're talking about savings and retirement today. But for this segment, I thought I like money, and every one of us likes money. But how do you get to how much you're making to save it and still live a good life? And I thought, let me bring my friend who, to be honest, I think she has the most side hustles in the country. Carol Kisuchi, although we know you as DJ Carol. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, Flavia.
That coffee should wake you up.
Definitely. I'm awake.
You're awake. So we're at the Explorer, so let's get right into it. Before we get into all the 100 hustles that you have, you're a DJ, but you did not actually study this. You went to school for something completely different. Yes. What did you study for?
I studied business IT, which is more like the marketing side of IT, the business side of IT. Yes.
Was that a choice?
Yes, it was. I loved IT. I still love IT. But I wanted to see how I can use IT to make money.
Oh, okay.
So hence the business part of IT.
Okay, so you don't understand the technical side of it?
No, I'm more into the business side of it. Well, I mean, I had to learn the technical side of it too as one of the modules, but the focus was more on the business side of it, the marketing side of IT.
So then DJing is a hobby.
DJing it's not something I ever thought I would actually take on.
Okay.
Completely, like it's, I've always had a passion for music, so it's just something that, it was like a joke. I was just sharing music with fellow DJs and asking them, have you heard these songs? And they said, you have a good taste of music. We wish you could learn how to DJ.
Oh, okay.
Because the challenge is the DJs out there who will know the technique of DJing, but how to keep people on the dance floor is
something else.
Yes. So, I mean, that's really how I ended up doing it, but it wasn't, in the start, it wasn't
So
really
did you actually get out of university, first practice what you studied for, then DJing?
Yes, DJing came a bit later because after university or during university, I was interning at MTN.
Okay.
So I was in the marketing department.
Ah, okay.
So my holidays would be back here. I studied in Malaysia, but my holidays were back here and working with MTN in the marketing department. So it helped that I was putting into practice what I was learning at uni. So when I got done with uni, it was easy for me to get a job because I had been working with MTN. So yes, MTN being the first job, and then an events company called Dash Events. Okay. That was the second job. So I was still doing marketing, either way, marketing events and all this. So how the DJ thing came in is, I guess, the fact that the office was shared a wall with Zone 7, and I kept hearing
like music.
Yes. That's how I got to interact with the DJs, and before I knew it, they were teaching me how to DJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you start to DJing, first of all, there are very few females who are DJing in the country. Two, the DJing industry is not really looked at as a respectable industry. Nowadays, I guess someone can say they're a DJ and someone's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then when you're growing up in Uganda, they're asking you, what else What else do you do?
Is that all you do?
Is that all you do?
Yeah.
So do you still regard it as a side hustle, or it's now like a real hustle? It's your first line of job?
No, it's not my first line of job. And I will make that clear, because so many people get that wrong. They think it's the only thing I do, but no. It's a side hustle. Like I said, it wasn't meant to even be a business.
Yeah.
It was meant to be a hobby and something I love to do, something I'm passionate about. So yeah, to answer you, it's really a side...
It's a side hustle.
A side hustle, yeah. Because most of the DJs, it's like their main thing, really. Most of them, not all. But because of my core business, I can't DJ every other day and be in a club till morning every other day because of the other things I have to do.
So we're talking about a side hustle, and let's just maybe break it down. How many things Cara does for us to get to understand the Shares Enough side hustle. So you're a DJ. What else?
I'm a DJ. I'm a CEO of a t-shirt apparel company called Think Inc.
There you go.
Then I'm a CEO of a digital agency that does digital marketing and design called M-Idea. Then I'm a team manager for a ladies basketball club called A1 Challenge. Yeah.
So that's 4 or 5 things, really. And I'm thinking these don't happen at the same time in the same day. When you're starting a side, first of all, your side hustles don't sound like you started them saying, let me go for a side hustle. True. They all sort of sound like they happened to you.
Yes.
So how do you then decide to keep each of them as they come in? Because I think the problem with side hustles is someone is thinking, if I'm doing this job 8 to 5 and I have a passion for knitting and I can do that on a Saturday afternoon, how many Saturday afternoons am I able to dedicate to it? So do you find an issue as you added on each hustle that it became maybe harder to maintain them?
Yeah, the thing about having multiple or being a serial entrepreneur is one thing you have to do is know how to strike a balance.
Yeah.
And that comes with time management, that comes with patience, that comes with a lot of stuff. So it's not possible for one person to be able to do 4 to 5 hustles without help.
Yes.
So you need a team.
Okay.
And of course it comes slowly. It's not something, you may not afford to have a team in the start. I started, the first business I did was the digital agency. Yeah. And I started it alone.
Okay.
With no team, just me, my laptop and my modem.
And that was the entire company.
And that was the company, that was M-Idea. Yeah. But I think I had goals, I had targets, and I kept giving myself a timeline, like in the next 2 years at least, I should have a team. Having a team and having people you trust who you're going to train helps you then start something else and focus on it because you know everything is happening okay on the other side.
Yeah.
So being able to balance is very important, but the team is also key.
Definitely. So you're starting a side hustle, you need a team. So let's talk about finances, because I think the main problem is that starting a side hustle, you need money. Whatever it is you're going to start, you need money. And that might stop a young person thinking, oh, I'm already stretching my paycheck as it is. So if I want to invest in my side hustle, that might be a problem. So how do you eventually get to that point where you invest in yourself?
Now, I'll talk about my personal experience. How I started the first business was because of saving from the previous employment I had. Like I said, I worked with MT and then moved to an events company. But I did tell myself I wouldn't work for someone for more than 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
But in that time, I was saving.
Were you saving for that goal, or you were just saving just for a rainy day?
I was saving for that goal because that's really what I wanted. My dream then was to run my own business and be my own boss and stuff. So I said, I mean, I'm not just going to sit there and think it will happen. So I had to save for my previous businesses. And I mean, so many young people out there think you have to have 1 billion shillings to start a company. But no, anything small can start you up. Like I said, I started with just those mini laptops and a modem sitting at home. And now I employ 8 people and we have an office and all that. But it's baby steps.
I'm surprised because most people would say, oh, if you want to start a business, go get funding. Find money somehow, get a loan. And for you said, no, save from where you are to get to eventually what your business is. So you've talked about the key being time. You must figure out how to have, you must have a team.
True.
How do you turn a passion into profits? That's one of the hardest things to, because your passion is casual for you.
Yeah.
You find you won't give it as much dedication as you would something that you have to do and make money from. Are there key elements you find you've used to help you, put your passion into profits?
I think, I believe if you're passionate about something, it's going to be that motivation. The what makes you wake up every day, this is my passion and I want to make profits out of it. You're going to be psyched up to get up every morning. It's different from, you're in this situation where you badly need a job and you don't care whatever job you get.
Yes.
So you're really not passionate about what you're doing. You're just doing it for the money, but at the end of the day, after going through all the motions and stuff, it's boring. You're not enjoying yourself. So you actually stay on that level. But if it's something you're passionate about, you're going to be more enthusiastic. You want to read more about it because it's yours. It's your passion. You want to improve on it. You want to earn from it. And I think if you put all these things together and actually work hard, the results just come out. I mean, people are calling you to do X and Y and Z. People think you're really good at what you do, so everyone wants to have you, and before you know it, you're earning from your passion.
All right, so later on we're actually giving a few minutes to Malash as someone special for us to talk to us. But before that, and also before we get into your CSR that you do, which is very important, let's just break it down for someone who's thinking, okay, I get that, I can actually do it, I can have a side hustle, I can supplement my income. What does it take for me to decide what my side hustle is? Because that's just another thing. Someone is thinking, I can't DJ, I can't do TV. I mean, what will my side hustle be? How do you get from deciding what it is, and also what are those tips to maintain to eventually get the side hustle running?
Okay, one, I think it's very important to do something you're passionate about. And I also think it's good to have your side hustle to have a bit of a connection with the first hustle that you did. Because I'll give you an example. Starting a digital agency first and then having an apparel line. I'm using what I learned from the digital agency, marketing, how to market products and services to also market my t-shirt apparel line. I'm using the same, what I learned from digital marketing to market the fact that I'm a DJ and I do corporate events. So people get to know, okay, we can't call her for some random night in the club, but if it wasn't for that, how would people get to know? So there's like a connection between all the hustles that I do. How are people going to know about the CSR? I use social media to create that awareness. So first, like I said, it's the passion. You do follow your passion and see how you can link both hustles to complement each other. In this, I mean, with the way the situation is lately and the economy, if one isn't really working out well, it can complement the other. Or you find there will be a season where the second hustle is performing better than the
real job,
and it could help complement the first one. So yes, so I really think
passion, interlink, make sure they're somehow in the same line.
Yes. And being able to know what are your targets for both. Because there's also the issue of one overlapping the other. But you have to know how to strike that balance. What are the goals for this and what are the goals for that? And when do you intend, what's the timeline for them? So you're not focusing on one and leaving the other to die. So you have to keep striking that balance.
Actually, you've now hit something, being productive, because some people find that because their side hustle sometimes is their passion, they'll give it more time. You understand? They'll say, let me give more time what I like. And then you forget that there's that 8 to 5 or whatever job you had doing. So in terms of productivity, which do you choose? Is it equal time?
Well, if you're a self-employed, it's easy to make it equal time. If you have an office job or a day job, I would be honest, it's not. It will never be 50-50. Because, like you mentioned, you have either only the weekends to pull it off, or after work
just
to
a
pull
few
it
hours
off.
in the day.
And again, you don't want to clash contracts, and maybe you're doing something similar here, and you get fired, or something like that. So, but I think with the way things are moving these days, technology, everything is going digital. So I feel like you can use your lunch break.
So there's more time somehow.
You can squeeze time. You can find the time and coordinate things on phone. I mean, these days everyone sells everything on social media. Be it a phone, be it or I'm moving homes, I have chairs for sale, and that takes a minute.
Okay, definitely. So as we wind up, you have some CSR work you're doing. Just briefly talk to us about that so we can follow you up.
Okay, like I said, I am a team manager for a ladies basketball club, and we don't just play. The team just doesn't play in the national league. What makes us stand out is we empower the girl child using sports, using basketball as a vehicle. So what we do is we go out to schools and talk to them about life skills. We break it down into life skills, mentorship, entrepreneurship, and then finally basketball. Fantastic. We teach them the sport of basketball. I'm actually
coupled with life skills.
Yes. So we just break down those sessions. So I'm actually a product of that program.
Oh, nice.
Outreach program. Yes, I was in Kamboja and I was told the ladies team is coming to speak to you, and I was like, oh, so boring lectures, but it has inspired, and they scouted me to join the team. So I'm continuing with their mission to empower the
Fantastic. That's DJ Caro. If you go to NTV Uganda, we'll have all her details so you can follow up on her great work. But we're talking about savings and retirement, and actually in studio, Mala has a retiree who's comfortable. Mala, talk to us.
Correct, Flavia. We have Mr. Godfrey Kakembo, who is a retiree who actually started off in employment, and still in employment he had a side hustle, but the youth don't take this issue seriously, or saving, but he's here to give you tips on why you should start saving as soon as now, because he's in retirement but he's comfortable in retirement. So Mr. Kakembo, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
What are the 3 tips you'd give a young person to start on saving as soon as possible?
Well, saving is very important indeed. Because when you start living on your own, having left the paycheck job, you find yourself always penniless most of the time, and you end up borrowing unnecessarily.
Yes.
I can't say unnecessarily because you will need what you have borrowed.
Correct.
But paying back
is the issue.
Yes, it becomes very difficult. So you advise people who are senior to you to borrow money from the bank, and if you have some little property, they advise you to pledge it to the bank to get some money.
Okay.
And you end up also losing the
losing
property.
the money. So what are the 3 tips that you'd advise the young people out there watching you right now? How should they go about saving? How can they start? And why should they start now? The 3 tips of going about it.
Well, when you are going to save, you definitely must have a bank account.
So have a bank account?
Yes, where you put the money. And when you are going to start the consumption, try to forget that there is some money somewhere in the bank line. Yes, yes.
So not just a bank account, but a savings account.
Yes, a savings account. And you reduce down your consumption rate.
Reduce your consumption rate, spend less, save more.
Yes, and save more. And because some issues, some items you have to ignore.
Yes.
Yes, and when it comes to contribution of weddings and you know that was also consumption is a lot of money from the youths. And we have to contribute to that. I'm invited for a meeting because that is the age actually which is ever going for for marriages and other functions. Fundraising. And you will not be called you might be assumed a bad person for having not gone for the meeting. But after the meeting, whoever has contributed will not be remembered, but the one who received.
So be very cautious on the contribution circles that call upon you to actually contribute. Look at your priorities.
Yes, your priorities.
Okay.
But I'm saving for these little children to go to school.
Yes. So have a goal.
Yes, you must have a goal. Yes, I'm saving to have a home somewhere.
Okay.
Yes, I'm saving to in fact, you also have to avoid the peer group you are in.
So be cautious of your peer group. Okay.
Yeah, be cautious of the peer group. Must advise you.
Okay.
Yes, and because you might think of living
that high life that you cannot afford.
Yes, high life you can't afford because you tend to have meeting places in the bar. So avoid.
So avoid that and be very cautious on that.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Those are quite, you know, practical advice tips that you've given us. So number one, make sure that you have a savings account, not a current account, a savings account. Number two, get your priorities right in terms of spending. Spend less, save more. And number three, always have an end goal to it. Don't just save for the sake of saving, but have an end goal to it. Flavia, back to you.
Thank you so much, Mala, and I've heard that. Have a savings account, change your peer groups because they influence you. For example, for me, Carol, because of my many hassles, as they call them, I decided that one paycheck will be my savings. And then I'll use the other paychecks to sort of go through life. Is there one tip or trick or something you go by for your savings?
I mean, that's a good way to do it. I wish many people would learn that from you. Well, the other way would be to put a percentage of your earnings, say 10% goes to savings, and then you can choose what you want to do with the rest, because that keeps you assured that at least there's some money somewhere
going away.
Yes, as a contingency plan for something.
Yeah, and I guess savings doesn't have to be 100,000, 2 million, 30 million. Even 1,000 shillings is saving enough. If you can put 500 shillings somewhere every day, it is still something for the rainy days. Today we're talking about savings and retirement. You need to come back tomorrow morning. Remuneration. How do you rate yourself? How did you get to the paycheck you get paid today? How did you negotiate? All of that tomorrow. DJ Carrie has been my guest. Go to NTV Uganda on Facebook and Twitter. Get all her details and follow her. This has been Morning at NTV. We had Chamago on the ground. Please, real people, real issues. Do follow the hashtag Morning at NTV. Have a wonderful day.
You're watching Morning